this is the CSL, like, oh shit, how do I not know about this? You know, like, it was good. It was a good one. I don't even remember who won. I just remember it was like that.
Some teams don't like other teams. Like Kelman, he beat Sandzak.
Yeah.
They obviously for other reasons hate each other.
Yeah.
But they dropped out, and it's like everyone plays everyone so many times. Like even if you like get into a fight, eventually you become like friendly with them. That's how we were too. Like growing up, our rivals were like the Serbian team. Now every time I see the boss, or like hugs, kisses, like how are you, this and that. But like we hated each other.
It used to be like, let me break your ankle. Now it's like, how is the ankle doing?
Fights, cursing after the game, parking lot, like when we were kids.
Remarkable! Incredible! Unbelievable! Save! And Spark are champions! Good on Pepe! Goal! It doesn't get any better than that!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from Randall's Island. I'm your commentator, George Angelidis. Behind the camera, the steady and artistic hands of Nicholas Marshall, where we will feature today on Game and Frame a very important matchup for the Cosmopolitan First Division between two sides that are eager for the 3 points, to say the least. Sandzak will be taking on Polonia. A matchup of seismic proportions for the top four, and especially the championship push for promotion. Of course, the champion of this division will get promoted to the APSL next year. Sandzak begin the day on 37 points in fourth place, and a win can take them to third and only 1 point away from their opponents tonight. Of course, this being their game in hand, Sandzak and Polonia, of course, so everyone will be even on games played after this matchup concludes. Now, the points is a bit of a discussion. Let's go with Polonia now, on the other hand, who start the day, as we said, in second place. Then we'll go 2 points clear in first place with a win, of course, bypassing New York International. Polonia also features the best defense in the league, only conceding 10 goals in 17 games so far. Of course, a massive 3 points on the line. And in this frantic, melodramatic top four in the Cosmopolitan First Division, after this game is concluded, there will be 4 games left to play. Therefore, a maximum of 15 points, if you consider the 3 points today that these two sides are going to battle over. And of course, just a parenthesis, when the first meeting between the two sides was played on September 22nd, Sandzak came away victorious with a 1-0 victory, actually on this very field here at Randall's Island, field number 74. Of course, the two sides, as we see, are just preparing the last bits of preparations, and stay tuned for a very spicy game of football. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The time has come as the two sides enter the pitch with the three-man referee crew. A game of immaculate importance, as we said in the pre-match. Something to be said about these nights can take you a long way, as do the 3 points is an absolute necessity for both sides. Let's just quickly run that by you guys one last time before this thrilling match begins. Of course, Sandzak can really put pressure on New York International and their opponents today with a win. A win would take them to 40 points. As we said in the pre-match, they begin the game on 37. This is also their game in hand, as well as Polonia's game in hand, in which if they win, they will top the table, bypassing New York International and go 2 points ahead overnight. Of course, game in hand, that means that all the teams will be on 18 games played after this match concludes. And we will feature a moment of silence before this fixture. Applause, warm applause from both sides. So the match finally set to begin after about 7 or 8 minutes off schedule, but that's very good, as the two linesmen have gone over to check the goalposts. Of course, Sandzak will be in their white kit, blue shorts, white socks, and Polonia in their red kit, white socks, white shorts. Polonia attacking from left to right, Sandzak of course right to left, as both sides, given the importance of this matchup, have certainly brought their big talents, big guns as you like. A loaded bench for both sides, a lot of options to tweak and change along the lines, but of course the quality on the pitch of these 22 individuals goes to show you why these two teams are pressing for the top spots in the Cosmopolitan First Division. As per usual, a little delay with one of the goal posts. As the referee gets us off underway here, a massive game, a massive 90 minutes ahead. As the first ball is pumped long, Makic will control. Heze in Sandzak's first forward delivers an early ball towards the Umbera. We'll get to the tactical bit in just a second. Yasir starting from left full back today. Sabovic. Back to the captain in Sabovic. Mirza with the number 7 and Captain Harris, number 10 at center back. Danilo Nivkovic with his first touches. The experienced shot stopper, of course, a main staple of the Sandzak squad. Kugler bypasses Lorient. Muller is there. The Umbera with Pepper as well. Madej. Sabovic will float early towards Garcia. Sebastian Garcia. Yasir. Back to the left full back. A line splitting to Sebastian Garcia. Makic. Lovely weight of pass to the fullback who's adventurous. Yasir picks up his head, low flat ball towards the top of the box over the head of a couple of defenders there, and Sandzak will organize with a bit of possession. opportunity for Merchant to run away with the possession. Merchant slides it in, but Nivkovic is there to collect. Goldman, who has started at the center forward for Polonia this evening. Here's Matthew Heze. Muller. Makic around the corner. Kamara with his head up goes over, and the free kick. So Kamara wins Polonia the first set piece of the evening, as the centre backs will make their way up. Bielin in the 18-yard box. Of course, the man over the ball with his set-piece prowess is Lorient. We've seen a couple of delicious deliveries from the number 6. Here he is. Teases it into the second post. The first contact, it's bobbling in the around, and on the top of the box, on the top of the 6 rather, it fell to Komara, but his loose touch allows Nivkovic to control. First bit of pressure put on Sandzak's goal. Something to keep an eye on for both sides, of course, is their set-piece wizardry. If you'd like, Makic and a few others can deliver a tasty service for Sandzak, and of course, as we've seen in previous streams, Merchant and Lorient have good set-piece deliveries of their own. Here's a long delivery towards Diambara, who's through on goal. Dutton Knieves is off his line. Diambara bypasses him. Goalkeeper gets it. All-important fingertip on it. Made his decision to go towards Diambara. Bypassed him a bit, but got enough on it to peter out that action. Corner kick for Sandzak, and it's going to be taken after a moment as the referee has gone over to the goalkeeper, who is possibly struggling a bit after that last action. Kirkic to stand over the dead ball. Kirkic without swing towards the first post, cleared away by Lorient. The bounce just evades, falls to the corner kick taker, who's still on that right hand side. And the throw in for Sandzak. Floated towards the box, cleared away. Back to Kirkic, who can reload, slams it into the floor. On the top of the box, a shot comes in, deflected once, and cleared away the second time. Good bits of pressures from both sides. Into the air. Merchant was underneath it, and the clearance will come after the signal of a free kick. As we've seen, a similar setup from both sides, really playing with one centre forward, a 10, and of course 2 wingers. The centre forward for Sandzak in this starting 11 is Garcia with Diambara and Heze on either side, cleared away by Sabovic. Resnick. Lorient athletically lifts it towards Kamara, who has to sort his feet. Muller on his back towards the corner flag. Kamara, great defending in the end by Muller, and the goal kick. And of course for Polonia, like we mentioned, Goldman through the middle, with Merchant playing in that number 10, dropping between pockets to articulate the game, and Kamara and Madej right and left. Ivkovic will get his team up the pitch and serve it presumably to the halfway line. Good distance on his clearance. Makic is up, so to Sabovic. Lorian picks up the second ball, in which falls to Sabovic. Kugler. Back to the centre back in Riznek. Pepper. Diambera will win a side throw in. Yes, here the instruction from Sabovic was to fling the throw in towards the centre forward. He's on the touchline now, of course. Throw in a little bit more advanced. Yassir will float it. Communication and a third consecutive throw in. Each one a bit further forward. Kirkic will come over to take this. Yassir can drop in a bit to be an option. Heze. A touch and a corner kick. A loaded area for the Sandzak heads to attack. A couple of players in front of the goalkeeper. Makic's late movement towards the goalkeeper, who gets an all-important knuckle on it. Good goalkeeping by Newton Neves. Good body shape and a flick around to, of course, another set piece, but situation was averted there. But now Polonia have to defend another set piece from the other side. Trotting over is Kirkic to take a second. Flat towards the first post, another corner kick on its way. Makic is just hovering around the top of the box. Kugler on him, makes his late movement again towards the first post, this time with more loft towards Garcia. Sabovic, forced backwards, will just let the ball trickle out for a throw-in. And Yassir going over to leave it for his captain. Maybe a lengthy delivery into the box. Sabovic flings it into the box. Garcia underneath it. Heze and Lorient in a duel. No free kick given. Kamara will control and will open neatly towards Madej. Couple runners ahead. Madej will lift it towards the second post towards Goldman, but good defending. Kamara exchanging neatly on the top of the box. Yassir pops it awkwardly into the air. A second clearance. Madej will reload to the second post and back in and out of play by Gloala. Eleven minutes gone. Good beginning by both sides. An intense first 10 or so minutes. Good rhythm to this match, good bits of movement and a couple of set pieces that needed dealing with, but we remain at 0. A couple of half chances. Makic will turn on the top of his own penalty box, and Sandzak will try to articulate some possession from back to front. Service towards Kirkic. Lorient out of play. towards center forward. Sabovic has a couple men down, and we will probably just take a moment here as it was a bit of an awkward coming together. All is seemingly good as men will station back in their positions. We resume with a throw-in. Free kick. Certainly for a Wednesday night, it's, as we know, a game of significant importance. Big crowd, as we see a couple of Sandzak, I would assume, supporters, and a couple of Polonia supporters on either side of the bench, as we know how important this matchup is. Of course, it's a midweek fixture, always difficult, but given the importance of this match, you can certainly find some time to support your local European club. Makic slides in athletically. Kirkic. And the free kick for Sandzak. Makic will leave it to Kirkic, who thumps it in early. Sabovic will refilter to Kirkic, who has to stretch, will athletically retain it in play. Kirkic with the left, Kugler's little nibble at it, and out of play for another Sandzak corner. Once again, the signal towards the first post, some contact. Makic will be forced a bit wide, has to be smart here, maybe win something, pokes it, remains in play. Glowala gets a touch. Kamara ahead. Here he is, spins neatly. The 2-7s in the middle of the park. Polonia's number 7 opens it up neatly towards Pepper. The retreating man was the center forward, actually, in Garcia. Pepper finds Resnick, and through Bilin now, Polonia can find some possession. Kugler to Glowala, who we've seen him play a multitude of positions on the left-hand side. Makic's early delivery towards Garcia. Resnick gets a fair chunk of it out of play. And a stoppage of play for something that is left on the field. Bilin just handing something to the referee. Yasir. Garcia smashes it off Resnick, who had his hands tucked behind his back rather, but ricocheted off his body for a throw-in. Yasir thought about the quick option. Will pop it in towards Sabovic. Here's Captain Sabovic. It will remain in play for Yasir. Good control. Yasir wants it on the left foot, and out of play. Goal kick for Newton Neves. Of course, guys, stay tuned for more game and frame action this upcoming weekend. We will feature on Saturday night Manhattan Celtic against New York International FC at 8 p.m. A pivotal match in this Cosmopolitan First Division, of course, at both sides of the table. An immaculate 3 points there. we will feature, let's just see this action first, as Makic will find Heze. Santiago is trying to get involved in the situation, but a flag will be risen to peter out that attack. To conclude with New York Ukrainians taking on Manhattan Kickers on Sunday the 27th at 2 p.m. kickoff there. Hoboken will take on Greek Americans at 4 p.m. an APSL clash in the Metropolitan Conference. And finally, Richmond County will take on New York Athletic Club, also at 8 p.m. kickoff there in the APSL Metropolitan Conference. Throw in for Polonia. Just at the halfway line, Polonia will have a throw in, served in. Lorient appeals, and the Polonia ball. Flung in towards a double deflection off Merchant last, and goal kick for Nivkovic. Sabovic finds Yassir early towards Garcia. Goalkeeper a long way off his line, a double deflection again, and cleared away in the end by Resnick. Karkic, not the best throw-in from Yassir. Goldman. Sabovic will just get it up the pitch. The umpire is probably coming back from an onside position, but Kugler is in possession, finds Lorient. Madej towards Merchant. Neat first touch. Kugler has some space to just dribble out of the press a bit. And Polonia will try this left-hand side. Towards Lorient. Sabovic early towards the Umbera. Kirkic. Kugler. Madej. Sabovic there to try to force him a bit wide. It finds Kugler. Kugler's early delivery cleared away with 2 attempts. Garcia towards Matthew Heze. Furthermore, back to the captain. Muller. Really not a press on at the moment from Polonia, just forcing Sandzak to go left and right a bit. Sabovic can inch up. Makic dropping between the center backs now to pick up the possession. Again, really not a full-on press, just forcing them to split lines and risk a pass or two. Sabovic's pass is intercepted by Resnick. Kugler now. Kugler try to evade too. Makic towards Garcia. The Umbera's on the second post. Garcia bypasses one. Good defending. And as it will keep it in play. Served. Merchant has gone back to help out the defense. Sabovic will tease it over towards the Umbera. Goalkeeper a long way off his line and with good starting position will collect. Resnick. Of course, Polonia, like we mentioned in the pre-match, as Goldman cushions to Merchant. Makic gets a big chunk of it early towards the Umbera. The Umbera stands it up, cleared away by Bielen. Sabovic, Merchant over Goldman. Kamara going to ground, good interception. Garcia tried to let it run. The second ball falls to Sabovic. Heze. And the goal kick. Just so. Just swap balls there as goal kick for Polonia. Of course, like we mentioned in the pre-match, as Dun Knieves will play out to Bielen, who will serve it forwards. Free kick. As we mentioned in the pre-match, of course, Polonia features the best defense in the league, only conceding 10 goals in their first 17 matches, a very impressive record. As, of course, this matchup is of vital importance. Of course, each goal is going to count for, if you'd like, more than a goal, as the significance of the goal would be for the 3 points that can take these sides a long, long way away. Of course, there are rather 4 games left in this season, this regular season rather, for both sides to compete for the last 15 points, 1 game at a time, 1 action at a time, as I'm sure both sides can surely fixate their eyes on these 3 points. Back it goes to the goalkeeper, who will just awkwardly clear. Kugler was there to pickpocket the Umbera. Madej here on this right hand side. Merchant ahead of him, so to Kugler. Here's the number 22, Kugler, finds Madej, will lift it to Merchant, pops it back into the air. Sabovic high, Merchant. Kirkic over towards Garcia. Garcia entering the box. Garcia on his left foot, skews it wide. But good transition from the midfielder, who served it towards Garcia, but was forced a bit wide and had a shot with his left foot. Kugler. Pepper from right full back. Resnick. Back to Pepper. Pepper, Goldman tried to just lay it off to Lorient possibly. Makic tried to find Sabovic. Kugler. Lovely line splitting pass. Lorient will lift. This needs dealing with, and a free kick. It's the yellow card is brandished as well, and I believe it's going to be a free kick right outside the box. The referee was adamant with his decision of the handball, and this provides Polonia a very enticing opportunity from the dead ball. Yellow card also brandished to the full back, but the matter of importance is this free kick. Nivkovic constructing a rather tall wall, a couple of tall bodies, and a large wall at that. Over the set piece is Merchant, with Lorient just loitering around on the top of the box. Merchant over the wall, deflected it in! An opening goal for Polonia. Merchant's effort deflected, and the opening goal for Polonia. It was certainly an appetizing position. Merchant's effort deflects off someone in that rather large wall, and Nivkovic couldn't do anything about that effort. How can Sandzak riposte now? We also had a couple of substitutions. Shakreli has entered on this left-hand side. That means the Umbera has gone over towards the right wing. Opportunity there. Merchant, Madej, Sabovic's nibble. Kirkic can go the other way. Plays an early ball towards the Umbera, just overhit, and the goalkeeper will come out to collect with his feet. Possibly just take a moment, but he wants to urgently throw towards Lorient. Good distribution with the hand. Merchant, here is the goal scorer. Merchant teases it in towards Kamara. Kirkic. Although Merchant's effort was deflected, the initial shot was, from my eyes at least, going towards goal, so therefore hypothetically he's credited with the goal, although the deflection evaded Nivkovic. But Merchant, shall we say, opened the scoring. Rather, indeed, Merchant opened the scoring with his strike from the set piece. Polonia in the lead. Kirkic will lift towards the Umbera. The Umbera on the chase. Goalkeeper again a long way. Appeals of possibly him being out of his box, but the referee once again in a very good position to see. Neves, double deflection again. A lot of 50-50s, a lot of duels, of course, understanding the importance of this match. It's certainly high octane stuff from both sides. Polonia have found their goal. Thrown in towards the penalty spot. Lorient will reserve. Out of play for a goal kick. Substitutions now for Sandzak, and Dikanovic has come on, replacing Garcia at centre forward. So to another substitution, I believe Sabovic is coming off for, I believe, Kalenovic in the middle of midfield. The triplet, if you'd like, Kirkic, Kalenovic now, and Makic. With Shakreli, like we said, on this left-hand side, the Umbera on the right, and Dikanovic now through the middle. Of course, Dikanovic, we have seen in previous streams that other than being a lethal finisher in front of goal, his work rate is exemplary. So maybe a tweak in that sense, just to put a bit of pressure on the back line of Polonia when they are in possession. Of course, still a lot of football left to be played in this match. Kirkic harassed by Goldman, who he also showing good work rate to press. The deflection will be kind to him. Goldman, neat feet to bypass one, spreads it neatly towards Lorient. Lorient's effort, high and wide. Third minute here at Randall's Island, field number 74. Polonia in the lead through a set piece from Merchant. Sabovic with the outside of foot towards Shakreli. Pepper was underneath it. Madej, Dikanovic's first involvement, and wins aside a free kick. And indeed, that is Kalenovic, who is now standing over the ball and just touching it towards Makic. So Kalenovic and Dikanovic, the latest substitutions for Sandzak. Here is Kalenovic. Makic. Good organization from Polonia, just organizing their lines and forcing Sandzak to find something intricate from situations and areas as such. Kamara won the possession. Kugler early. Merchant with the outside of the foot. Muller athletically. Round towards Kamara, who's onside. Good defending by the captain, Sabovic. Makic. Free kick. Kirkic here in front of us has his hands risen for maybe a long diagonal delivery, but the free kick, and now they can get back into shape a bit. Yasir from left full back finds Kirkic, who's still stationed on this left-hand side. In the 1v1, Dikanovic and Merchant will just let it trickle out of play. Substitutions now for both sides. Goldman will be replaced. It looks as if Kamara will go through the middle. We'll just see that as the action goes on. Galia has entered. Here is Galia. His first touch a little heavy, and Nivkovic commanding. So we'll just see the change of, possibly not a change of shape, but a center forward. It might be Galia, as we have entered the last 10 minutes here in this first half. There also was a substitution for Sandzak, I believe. But Sabovic will try to find Dikanovic, who nibbles it neatly towards Shakreli. Shakreli has some space. Shakreli trying to find some room to serve something. Will find Dikanovic. Spins and swivels. The idea was sharp, but couldn't wrap his foot around the ball. And Neves will lift towards Merchant, who's very good in the air, it has to be said. Kalenovic, great advantage there given by the referee. Makic, Sabovic will float it. Shakreli has Kirkic to his left. Shakreli reverses towards Kirkic. Overhit and a throw-in. Nivkovic on the halfway line, just imploring his side to get up the pitch and press in these areas. That's exactly what they did. Polonia trying to get further forward. Yassir. Pepper towards Resnick. To his center back partner, Bielin. The captain, first time over towards Glowala, who just couldn't locate Kamara. Muller. Sabovic. Galia indeed is at center forward. Maybe a different profile of center forward than Goldman. Polonia throwing nonetheless. Here is Galia. Lorient. Madej with Yassir, who goes to ground. Gets a good chunk of the ball. 39 minutes gone. 38 and some change to be exact. Polonia in the lead through a Merchant set piece. Deflected. Free kick. Pepper trying to find Madej, and the free kick again in a quite similar position, maybe a little bit more off center and of course to the other side as their first. This one, of course, with the righty standing over it, will entail a service into the box. Lorient standing over it. Nivkovic constructed a two-man wall, a loaded area. Everyone barred the Umbera back to defend this set piece. Lorient service towards the second post. Madej tried to wrap his foot around it. Shakreli gets a clearance. Kamara tries a flick. Cleared away by Sandzak. Muller, out was the cry, and just put his foot through it to get his team up the pitch. 5 minutes left in this very intriguing first half. Both sides have certainly had chances. Polonia have broken through Merchant's effort. And 5 more minutes here in this first half. Of course, pivotal moments in the dying embers of the first half for the psychology aspect of the game. Both sides certainly still. Vukanovic. Was rather spoken to by the referee. Certainly maybe caught his man a bit, but Kugler will fling it into the box. First contact the Polonia had, Makic underneath it, Glowala, Nivkovic, commanding goalkeeping again. Get his team up the pitch. Maybe try to find Dekanovic's head. It's towards Shakreli. Dekanovic will clear. Kirkic with the chest. At a play for a Polonia throw-in. Pepper's throw towards Galia. The Frenchman with the outside of the foot. Yassir and Madej. Pepper will go towards the line. Kalenovic. Yasir towards Dekanovic. Pepper clears. Makic. Galiana's back. Dekanovic. And Merchant can spin. Wants to find his center midfielder in Lorient, who connects a pass forwards towards Kamara. Again, more 50-50s, more duels in the middle of the pitch. Kamara has some space. Muller standing him up. Kamara trying to find the byline. Again, good defending from Muller. Kirkic thought about serving it towards Clever from Diambera. Kirkic thought about serving it towards Diambera, and neat footwork in the aftermath by Diambera to win aside a throw-in. Maybe halftime is needed for both sides, possibly just to reset and refocus, but let's see here with Merchant. Kugler has Madej to his right. He finds the number 9, forced a bit wide, serves it first time. Sabovic goes to ground to clear in that first post. Makic. Back to Kalenovic. Kirkic will lengthen his stride to retain, but good pressure and cleared out for a throw-in. As we are entering now the last minute of this first half. Let's see if the man in the middle, the referee, shall add anything extra on this in this first half, rather. But a throw in here in a dangerous position, trying to find a couple of runners there, and the first time service was presumably towards Madej, but a miscue and a throw-in, a goal kick for Nivkovic. Maybe one more minute, or 1 minute of added time. I just saw the referee just hold up one finger towards his assistant referee. Maybe 1 minute of added time here. Maybe there's time for one more question of the Sandzak goal and or the Polonia goal. Diambera. Lovely run from Diambera. Appeals for a handball, cleared away. Thrown for Sandzak now. Certainly the referee will just step in and have a word with a couple of players. Certainly we know the importance of this game, but seconds before the half ends, the focus is on this set piece, in which will presumably be like a set piece if Kirkic wants to fling it into the box. The throw-in from Kirkic, long. Kugler up in the air. On the top of the box, Pepper gets a head on it, so to Kalenovic, but a free kick. Possibly that is the last action in this first half. The referee just had a glance at his watch. Beelan will take it to his centre-back partner, Resnick, finds Pepper. Chakreli. And half-time whistle. Polonia in the lead through a free kick deflected in by Merchant. A game of significant importance, as we know. The 3 points are pivotal for both sides. At halftime, however, Polonia in the lead, 1-0.
Dave Tristino into Junior Rosero, gets half a yard, catches it beautifully, and opens the scoring with a rip-roaring strike.
Leaves it for Saiti. Baron, crafty, goal Richmond! Back and forth we go, now it's 2-1, it's Dylan Meadows. Assist for Baron.
Shango can't quite keep it. Yoa, pick it up, dangerous area, Malachi with a shot. Beautiful save from the keeper.
Smith, now gonna bring it forward. Smith gets through two. Smith, into the middle, he scores!
Mohu. Tug at the shirt, he's had a hit, what a strike!
To the captain with a lot of space, crossed inside, using his chest, Aristotle Zazulin to the rescue!
Base, and he's looking for Richmond. He's played a nice ball over the top. He's gotten it under control, a little clip over the top. What a goal! Ball is about 23 yards out. Richmond has a hit, and he's wrong-footed to Mars. Richmond has two in less than 3 minutes.
Burkhart fires! Oh, that went in! That was off the bottom of the bar!
Bardic or Espinosa? It's Espinosa for a hat trick to his right foot. Hat trick for Espinosa.
Now Pickett is on the clear. He can score here, and it is saved by Cleveland.
Neto leaves it. Oliveira, 2-1, perfectly placed. Good enough pace to beat Valencia, but also the placement as well.
Now he's on. Kamara's on sides. Kamara gets around the keeper. This could be it. Could finish. It's two. That's the final whistle.
Right side, isn't it? Can he bend it around the wall? He's gone for it, and it's tipped over the crossbar. Joe Holland, once again Perez called into action.
Willie goes long, trying to find Reynoso. Reynoso gets a touch over the keeper. Reynoso, open goal. And he finishes.
Looking for Tail the rescue. It lands to Jallo instead. Jallo's still on the ball. He cuts inside. He takes a shot, and he scores! Here's Jallo. 99 makes the move. 99 puts it in the butt, and there's a goal! Ryan saves the day for International. Trot now, putting the nail in the coffin. Here's Pickett. Pickett one-on-one. Pickett with the shot. Pickett with the goal! There it goes. There's a victory International we're looking for.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University, and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards, so I know that they're together, and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer, and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential.
Welcome back, guys, for the second half kickoff, which is imminent here. First, let's remind you, Polonia in the lead. And how can Sandzak riposte towards the Umbera? And the throw-in for Polonia. Cleared away for a throw-in. Of course, guys, today's Game in Frame broadcast is sponsored by Salt Athletic. Salt Athletic have made the world's freshest, most advanced cleat bag. The air case uses antimicrobial technology to block smell, making for odor-free car rides and houses. Salt is offering Game in Frame community an exclusive discount at 10% off if you scan the QR code. As Muller will try to find a teammate. Juarez for Polonia has entered in this second half on this left-hand side. Karkic to Muller. Sabovic around the corner, lovely control by Garcia and a nutmeg. Bielin. Glowala. Dekanovic uses his body well to win his side. A throw-in. Nikaj to take. Kugler. Double deflection. Another one off Glowala. Sabovic poked away by Juarez. Karkic will presumably again fling it in towards the first post. Dekanovic is underneath it, and a skewed clearance presents a corner kick for Sandzak. We saw the importance of one set piece in this match. Can Sandzak provide a quality delivery of their own? Karkic with his left hand risen floats it to the second post. The Umbera was underneath it. Dekanovic, Nikaj, and fingertips from Dunton Neves. An all-important touch by the Polonia shot stopper was going one way and just lifted his hands to just get enough of it, and with fingertips, a very important save for his side. Another set piece, however. Karkic, similar delivery. The Umbera. It falls to Karkic. Garcia on the overlap. Will jink it onto his left foot. Garcia going to ground. Garcia will retain it. Sebastian Garcia cleared away, and another corner kick. Quickly taken now. The urgency certainly has risen. Floated. A thumping effort. Was that fingertips again? No is the answer. But there's a man down in the 6-yard area. A frantic beginning in this second half. And certainly Sandzak have been encouraged by the halftime team talk by Coach Hott, and have started very well. And maybe a substitution is needed. No, let's just see who was just down for a bit. It was Nikaj, I believe, who's up and trotting back a bit gingerly, but all is good, and we continue with the Dutton Neves goal kick. Lorient into the air, Sabovic underneath, cleared high into the night sky. Resnick finds Lou. Lou forwards towards Lorient. Yassir to win the possession back for his side. Sabovic towards the Umberos, trying to short his body to get between man and ball. Kirkic finds Garcia. Garcia on the left foot. Neves comfortable, and more importantly, without spillage. Merchant. Kugler. First time towards Juarez. Juarez waits for the overlap from Gloala. He wants to find the marauding fullback, who will just about retain it in play. Gloala, and will win inside a corner kick. Lorient trotting over to take this set piece. Two hands risen towards the first post, off the thigh. It falls to Resnick, who tried to reshuffle his feet and get his foot through the ball, but skews it wide. Slip from Sabovic. Here's Captain Sabovic. Yassir back to his captain. And free kick. Polonia was transitioning on a counterattack, but a yellow card brandished. And Kirkic is down. Kirkic is still down. You can see the concern on his teammates hovering over him. Nivkovic has also gone over just to inspect the situation. Coach Hart is also on the pitch. A very important player, to say the least, for Sandzak. Their midfield maestro, if you like, alongside Makic and Kalenovic and Ko, Sabovic as well, but certainly Kirkic, as we've seen, is often the point of difference and maybe needs a moment to shake off the previous knock. Another impromptu timeout if you like for both sides. He's gingerly getting back on his feet. We restart with Makic's long service towards Dekanovic. Dispossessed by Kalenovic after Galia got a little nibble. More 50-50s, more duels in the middle of the park. Kugler, first time, leaves it a bit short, dispossessed. Round the corner neatly by Dekanovic. Diombera will stand up his man in the 1v1. Diombera cuts it left. Low delivery, cleared away by Gloala. Yasir. Sabovic. Nikaj is making a run off the second shoulder. Nikaj was up. Gloala was underneath it, but the ball fell comfortably to the goalkeeper, who has the football in his grasp and will again distribute neatly with his hand. Lorient. Lorient again with the chest, ricochets off his chest and out of play for Sandzak. Throw in. Diombera is asking a question or two, and his question is answered with a throw in which he will quickly take. Sabovic finds Diombera again. Really a cluster of players on that far hand side. Makic, Kalenovic will find Muller, who has some space to venture into if he wants, but wants to find Kalenovic. Line splitting to Sabovic. Neat first touch. Sabovic towards Garcia. Popped into the air towards Nikaj. Juarez over to defend. Good defending by the winger. Garcia, Kalenovic, Nikaj. Back to Muller. Towards Sabovic. We see here the organization of Polonia is very compact, and in this situation they're low block effective. Of course, a team that has only conceded 10 goals in the season, you would assume their organization and structure is on point, and of course they can venture forward, of course, and be very persuasive on in the attack. But here a service from Muller, cleared away by Resnick off the top of his head. 50-50, and Sandzak will be awarded a throw-in. Resnick clears. Sabovic to his namesake Sabovic. Mirza Sabovic, twinkle toed, finds Diombera. Dekanovic across the face, and no corner kick, goal kick is the decision. Neves will put his foot through it. Makic aerially. Garcia and Glowala. Glowala gets the first chunk of it. Juarez there to poke it towards Glowala, and Glowala will Glowala towards Merchant. Muller has to just locate his goalkeeper, and that is what he'll do. Nikovic just giving him the space to foray into. Kolanovic. Nikaj. Garcia. Sebastian Garcia tried to play at the wrong side of Kugler, who extended his leg to get a chunk of it. Kirkic also hasn't re-entered, as he took a bit of a knock. I see him, I think, having a word of instruction with Coach Hart, so maybe he will re-enter in some minutes, just something to keep an eye out on. The all-important diminutive midfielder is actually going to enter at this moment, so good news for Sandzak, and more importantly good news for Kirkic. He can re-enter, replacing Nikaj. Muller. Muller to Kirkic. Sabovic out of play. Free kick. Kirkic will load it, stabs it into the penalty area. It's causing confusion. Garcia. Glowala again with an all-important touch. 64 minutes gone. We remain at 1-0 for Polonia. Another lengthy delivery by Kirkic. Dekanovic flicks it on. Cleared away. It falls to Makic. The spin of the ball possibly just made him stretch a bit. Kirkic will reload to the second post. Diomber underneath it. Will cushion it, and a shot comes in and out of play. Bielan will serve towards the goal scorer, cushions it back, but Kalinovic is there to dispossess. Sabovic, Diombera underneath it, and just overhit for the stretching Diombera. Quick glance at the linesman, but Sandzak still certainly asking questions here in the second half. Kirkic. The first game ended 1-0. Makic. As the first game ended 1-0 in favor of Sandzak back in September. Now 1-0 in favor of Polonia. So maybe these two sides have see if there's a substitution here. In the next stoppage, as Neves cleared his lines. Makic, Lorient, Merchant, Lou, foul Sabovic, and here is the substitution. Of course, like we mentioned in the pre-match, both sides with a deep bench, a variety of options. The only mainstay that I haven't seen, that I've seen in previous Polonia matches, is their center midfielder Chike. But of course, many options for both sides. Can mix and match and try to find intricate combinations with different options off the bench. Makic thumps it forward. Sabovic, Kirkic, Kirkic again, loose press. Lou very energetic in leading the line, as Coleman also hasn't re-entered in the second half, so Lou possibly. Just see this action first, as Dekanovic dispossessed, cleared towards Lou, who's using his body but has a couple of Sandzak players. Well in for a Polonia throw-in. Of course, guys, stay tuned for more game in frame action. On Saturday night, we will have Manhattan Celtic 2 as Lou. Let's just see if he can make something of it. Kamara will drop it off towards Kugler. Spread to Juarez, who swapped wings for the moment. Serves it back in. Merchant, beaten to it in the air by a commanding Nivkovic, who will distribute neatly towards Garcia. We'll get to the tune-ins in just a minute, as Garcia's end-to-end stuff. Bielan, free kick is not given. I just saw a glance at a flag as Kirkic dribbles out of play. Let's conclude with New York Ukrainians that will take on Manhattan Kickers at 2 p.m. in the Cosmopolitan First Division. Hoboken will take on Greek Americans at 4 p.m. in Laurel Hill Park, an APSL matchup there in the Metropolitan Conference. And of course, at 8 p.m. Richmond County will take on New York Athletic Club at 8 p.m. also in the APSL Metro North. 70th minute here, 20 minutes plus stoppages.
past the halfway. Before or after? Ref, why is the fan talking with the side? What's going on?
Loala will fling towards Merchant.
Let's go now. Guys, it's time to punishment. This is too much. Let's go. Focus, guys, on the ball. Let's go.
Loala to Kamara. Kirkic gets a nibble, clears with the chest cushion. Back in. A bit of pinball and Kugler. Kalanovic to Kirkic. Free kick. Yellow card. Kugler towards Merchant, wins another aerial duel. Juarez was underneath it, Yasir clears. Merchant back in, cleared away by Muller. Cushion down to the left, back in Glowala. Off Garcia last. Maybe a swap of wings. Kamara. Coldman, who has re-entered. On the top of the box, falls to Pepper. Pepper lines one up, deflecting. Nivkovic will collect. Kalanovic. Sandzak certainly have to maybe begin to think to risk a bit. Towards Garcia. Dispossessed by Sabovic. Good bit between the teeth to retain the first lost ball. Kugler evades the challenge. There is Kugler. Into the air. Little back heel. Thrown in. Djukanovic trying to spin his man. Djukanovic over towards Garcia. Garcia, Djukanovic in the box. Swivels. Djukanovic, the Umbera. It falls to the Umbera. Deflected. Cleared again. Good defending. Glowala with the Umbera on his back. Merchant that was, excuse me. And the Umbera is being pushed away by the referee. Certainly tempers have lit up as there's a man on the pitch with another ball. Goes to show you the importance of this. Merchant is still down. as maybe Diambara was going to be substituted. I see a yellow card in the referee's hand. Certainly has spiced up a bit. Diambara going over to receive his yellow. All of this. 75th minute. Referee was and some as in all of this, Celebi has entered for Dikanovic. Subsequent set piece, free kick rather, will be taken by Bielin, who floats it into the area, bypasses one, it's popped back into the air, and a whistle for a Sandzak free kick. And all of that, Diambara was yellow carded. Krkic. Sabovic first time towards what I would presume is a fresh Celebi. Celebi at the center forward now. It's beginning to a bit of who wants it more than tactics at this point. A game of so much importance, of so much intensity so far. 77 minutes gone. Polonia is still in the lead. Krkic. Can Sandzak find something? A long ball towards Diambara. Glowala again with expert defending. Cleared. Juarez was up. More 50-50s, more duels. Garcia towards Kamara. Kalenovic aggressively, and Garcia. Kugler leaves it for Goldman. Kalenovic dropping in. Yasir. Sabovic towards Krkic. Bielin cushions it to his goalkeeper, who will play quickly with his center back. Bielin. Cushion with the chest. Muller, Celebi, and now Sabovic. Krkic to Diambara. Once again, Diambara and Glowala in their duels. Diambara cuts it across, and it's an equalizer by the man that has leapt in from the bench. Celebi equalizes. Diambara with great 1v1 play cuts it across to Celebi, who made no mistake with his finish. Sandzak equalize, and there is still loads of time left. 10 minutes left, plus I would assume some stoppages. Markovic has also entered for Sandzak, the man who scored his very first goal in Sandzak first team a couple of weeks back. Can he be the answer off the bench? Really, now with this equalizer, if you'd like, the winners of today would possibly be New York International. A long way to go, however, and a long 10 minutes. Markovic popped into the air. Muller. He's down needing assistance. As he has a bit of cramp. If this result holds, Polonia will be tied with New York International on 18 games played, of course. Sandzak will pop up a spot to third place on 38 points. Really, this game was for 3 points. Both sides, I assume, craved the 3 points as a necessity. We are at 1-1 with 1 point apiece, but not over yet, as Chalebi, Markovic. Free kick. And the yellow card, stopping the transition. This is setting up to be a grandstand finale. This is exactly what the First Division is all about. This frantic last minutes, these minutes that seem an eternity or can seem not enough, depending how your persuasion on things. There's still a lot of time left for both of these sides to find what would be a massive second goal. In all of that, Heze has re-entered. Kirkic will pop it into the box. Chalebi underneath it. It'll fall to Goldman. Kamara was with some space on that left-hand side. Chalebi, Makic, certainly what we said in the pre-match has come true. The substitutes have played a pivotal role for both sides. Here is one of them in Markovic. Markovic trying to dance. Kirkic thought about it first time. Will smash it in with his left. Makic was there to press. Second ball will fall to Yasir. Yasir, Kirkic now. Muller, who seemingly has shaken off the cramp and is good to carry on. Markovic will let it roll. Markovic to Diombara, the creator of the first goal. Diombara, Glowala, exemplary defending. Yasir will float it in towards Diombara. Neves gets a little knuckle on it, and just about enough. Kamara. Lowala. Back to the number 7 in Kamara. Kirkic dispossesses and nutmegs Kugler. Kirkic continuing. Kirkic off bodies. And just in the nick of time before Heze can latch onto it. Certainly game is stretched now. Merchant, Kugler. Back to the midfielder. Certainly stretch, as we said. Kamara. Kugler. Over towards the third man run, that being Merchants. The goal scorer will just stumble over. And sportingly, Muller has gone over to lend a hand to the, I presume, cramping Merchant. Merchant, of course, who's put a shift in all game. Endless running, endless work rate from the number 8 to go alongside his deflected free kick effort in the first half. 1-1. Diombara. Chalebi. Kirkic is throwing. Will this Five minutes left, but I presume a couple of minutes, 3 or 4 possibly, we'll see. But Dekanovic has re-entered. Maybe Sandzak is risking all. Really, the point would be, if anything, more beneficial for Polonia in this match. Like we said previously, the big victors of this evening might be New York International. Flung in towards Dekanovic, who is offside. If this result holds, Polonia will be tied on points with New York International on 42 each. Makic being replaced by Garcia. Certainly the attacking prowess is on the pitch for Coach Hott. Flung in towards the centre forward, Nojikowski. Diombera has Dekanovic. Diombera cushions it, left smartly by Dekanovic, and it's just skewed wide. A touch and all of that madness in the Polonia goalposts. Someone got an all-important touch and deflected out for a corner kick. 87 minutes gone. Kirkic on the set piece. Has a jumping up and down. Kirkic to an arriving Sabovic, who lined up something spectacular. Yasir possibly did the right thing there, just to even risk a yellow to prevent the quick counterattack. Pepper's first touch. Markovic. Muller is down again. Nivkovic. Muller still down. Referee hasn't seen him yet, but Sandzak can go the other way. Markovic has to bypass the referee. Markovic. Muller is possibly dealing with a cramp, but he's up in the same line of the defense. Komara stretching the width on this left-hand side. Ball is on the far right. Pepper, who's actually in advanced positions, but maybe too advanced and offside. More substitutions for Sandzak. Will we have one last melodramatic twist here at Vandals Island? Free kick, no is the answer. Towards the centre forward. More fresh legs for Polonia, maybe just to transition. Kamara is also asking for a sub. It's all happening now in the last minutes here. Madej will pop off the bench and replace Komara. Out of play. Nivkovic will give it right back. As we've entered the last minute of the allotted 90, just glance at the referee to see how much he will add on. We had a couple stoppages in the second half, and a Polonia throw-in. Thrown in towards the center forward. Madej has some space if he's spotted. He is. Madej. Glowala. Teases it in. And Merchant wasn't offside, excuse me, but Nivkovic was there to collect and serve it forward. Ivanovic on the press. Kugler. Madej again, spacing the pitch as much as they can just to find some way and split some lines like such. Kugler. Muller, whose pass is a little loose. Back it'll go to Resnick. Polonia throwing. Thrown in quickly towards Madej, who was stretching. He ends up in the net. The ball doesn't. It's a throw-in. Balls are flying on the pitch. It's mayhem, but this is exactly what we love about this Cosmopolitan First Division. Glowala wins a free kick. Free kick for Sandzak to defend. A loaded area. Served. Nivkovic off his line. Will get a great knuckle on it. Sabovic tried to flick it over the taller Kugler. Dukanovic going back to press. Goals. Goldman won aside a free kick. Standing over the ball is the substitute, Nowajeski. It's possibly lining one up from distance. Nowajeski's foot through it, got a great contact on it, but too high. Referee glancing at the watch. We're in the 90, so we're at the referee's discretion now. A great game of football. Will it have one last final twist? Kugler wins the first ball. Goldman. Towards Merchant on the second post. Pops it back in. Great defending by Sabovic. Clearing it before it found the line. Muller is again down. This is going to keep everyone on side. But Sabovic has to do it all on his own. Muller's back in position. Another glance at the watch by the referee. Will there be one last chance for Polonia? Dispossessed. Pinball. Sliding challenge. Great feet. It's set up to Kugler on the top of the box, whose effort! An immaculate save by Nivkovic. Unbelievable reach from the shot stopper, preventing a last gasp winner for Polonia. Again, Muller is down with cramp. This has been an incredible finale. We're 4 minutes into added time. Muller is back up, a warrior to say the least, to fight through 3-4 bits of cramp. Sandzak have to defend the set piece now. Flat and low. How much more will we have? None is the answer. A great, great game of football, to say the least. The result possibly might favor a third team in this party, but a fantastic game of football. Polonia opening the scoring in the first half with a deflected effort by Merchant. Riposting was Sandzak in the second half through a tap-in by Chalebi. And at the very end, Danilo Nivkovic with an exemplary save to deny Polonia plus 2 more points and really to prevent them from being at the top of the table. The result here will be 1 point apiece. Both teams certainly giving absolutely everything they have. As we mentioned, a scintillating, cracking match of football showing the levels of the Cosmopolitan First Division. Final score here at Sandzak 1, at Randall's Island, Sandzak 1, Polonia 0. This will mean that Polonia will be tied on points with New York International on 42. Sandzak will pop up a spot thanks to Danilo Nivkovic's heroics at 3rd place with 38 points, with 4 games left to go in this ever melodramatic Cosmopolitan First Division here. Tonight, the end. Sandzak 1, Polonia 1. Thank you guys for tuning in.